Good evening. It's Saturday evening, and this is Ubuntu channel. On a Saturday, just like this one, we do have stories and headlines that have been making headlines during the week, and the program is called Point of View, where you get to add your voice to the stories of the week and headlines of the week, and to actually get to do the program. I do have, Himba Malambo. Good evening, Himba, and welcome to the program.
Good evening, Lance. Good evening, viewers. Good evening, Chaza. Thank you so much.
Beautiful. We also have, Lance Sani Banda right here. Good evening, Lance, and welcome to the program.
Good evening, Chaza. Good evening, Himba, as well as good evening to the viewers. I'm glad to be here, and it's a lovely Saturday. Looking forward to having a fruitful deliberation on this program.
Beautiful. Let's get to have, the first story, and we get to find out what it is all about. Then on the other side, we get to have, our reactions. And for the viewers out there, do join us. You are very much welcome by following the link, and you can actually come on set. You join us right here on set. Then you get to react to these stories or add your voice to the story that we shall get to view right about now, and many more other stories. Let's be together. Welcome to Ubuntu channel, and let's get back to the first story.
Lusaka residents have bemoaned high meal prices on the market. A check by Ubuntu reporter found that different retailers are taking advantage of the high prices to sell the staple foods in order to suit the market despite ordering the commodity at a cheaper price. 90. Nje mtengo bwanji wa dula unga 190. Yonse nyimba 190 na pembe.
Kudara yenze lipa order price yenze dura manini. Mino yoda 75.
More 75. And then the 190 ilo shimnoda pa 75. Kozinga mnoda pa 75 mwezi ofunika kugulisa pa mtengo mwezi ofunika kugulisira hapo. Just because bakwezeka na mwakwezeka.
Endera kupamoza tena maina ngogai.
So meaning imwe mtenga more profit because mna order less ka.
Profit ya bwana.
Mna order 75 kai then mwagulisa 90 mjia po double.
Manje.
However, some consumers want government to come in and help control the prices on the market as it has become expensive to have 3 meals in a day.
Chifukwa unga unachidula sizakaoda unga ukaindochipa apa for now unga wadula olokuti tiwode vantu sivagula mwaona kaso unless wachipako paja tingagula
afana njala tipena potosa ndalama isi ndiseva wido tikufa na njala ngati government itanganapo pangani ya unga makamaka unga mundu kudya ni nsima kutambile kuti yati
So mkula zinga?
Ponda unga tikula kaja ka 10 kg 95. Then ija sakaikunja 25 tikula 190.
tisikula unga do something sure kusibale zamba kutecha and staple food ikadura so ini njala imwani sitingazikula unga do something pa unga peva langanepo mwani pepa kwa langanepo ngoeve wadula.
Meanwhile, government yesterday, through the acting Minister of Agriculture, Chipoka Mulenga, directed Food Reserve Agency to offload 200 metric tons of maize and sell directly to the millers at 4 kwacha per kg to lower the cost of mini meal on the market. Edith Mwinga reporting for Ubuntu channel in Lusaka.
The increase in the price of Zambia's staple food maize has been one of the major contributors to the high cost of living, which is now affecting many families. A check in some chain stores in Lusaka has shown that a 25-kilogram bag of mealie meal is fetching between 170 to 200 kwacha, while that of a 25-kilogram of roller meal is fetching between 140 to 170 kwacha. Government, however, says it is aware of the situation and says some unscrupulous individuals are causing the artificial shortage of the commodity by illegally exporting mealie meal to neighboring countries where the price is fetching much higher. Ministry of Information and Media Director spokesperson Tabo Kawana says government has since directed the Food Reserve Agency to start selling mealie meal to millers and individuals in far-flung areas where mealie meal has skyrocketed to more than 300 kwacha for a 25-kilogram bag.
FRA having closed the selling, you know that in our districts and provinces we have millers, but these millers are also smaller millers, and therefore their capacity is limited. So when they buy maize for storage, their capacity can only store so much. So as soon as they run out of that stored maize, they have to come back and restock. And having found FRA not selling, they have to buy from the traders. And the traders were selling the maize to the millers at 6,000 kwacha per metric ton instead of 4,000 kwacha. So that drove the price of mealie meal to go up.
Mr. Kawana also adds that the FRA will be selling a 50-kilogram bag of maize at 200 kwacha in the affected areas and has assured that the country has enough maize stock to last the country till 2025, even if the country produces no maize this year.
Instructed FRA to continue to sell maize, but only to millers. So millers are being sold maize by FRA at 4,000 kwacha per metric ton. So they're able to get maize from FRA and at that price without being exploited by any other trader. Number two, we have also instructed FRA to start selling maize to the communities in our far-flung areas, and people are now able to buy a 50 kg bag of maize from FRA at 200 kwacha.
Rumors of oil marketing companies conniving to cause an artificial shortage of fuel on the Zambian market has also reached the ears of the government, and Mr. Kawana has warned all those involved in the plans to desist from doing so, further calling on oil marketing companies to come on the round table with the government and air their grievances. Prudence Chota, reporting for Camlet TV News.
There we have it. Is two stories that have been coupled up, and both stories are talking about Zambia's staple food, mealie meal. Let's get to have your reaction. Let me invite you, Himba, to come first.
Thank you so much, Chaza. My opinion would be, I think the issue of mealie meal, it should be taken as an emergency. It's an issue that was supposed to be resolved as soon as possible because, mealie meal is the staple food in our country, and you can't survive without mealie meal. So for me, it has even taken long, and it's so sad also to hear that other traders, they are even taking advantage of the situation, like what we've heard from the other video where the trader actually ordered that mealie meal at 75 and they doubled the price just because of the situation at the moment. It's really sad that things are going to that level. But personally, I would love to appeal to the government that these like the staple food, the basic needs. I think there should be a way that every Zambian, despite which part of the country they are, whether in the rural, in the compound, in the township, in the whatever, everyone should be able to access a bag of mealie meal, should be able to afford a bag of mealie meal, should be able to afford a packet of cooking sugar, a tin of cooking oil. Yadama basic needs. Let our leaders look into it. That feel actually, if they need to subsidize them, they need something to be done. Something should be done that no Zambian will go to bed on an empty stomach. No Zambian will fail to buy a bag of mealie meal. At least every Zambian should manage 3 meals a day. So not just 3 meals, 3 decent meals a day. Bantu nga abantu batampa okufira okushita akasaka kabunga aweta chiweme, and I mean ube nation which is going to be sick in Sala, it will not just development, it is measured when everyone is able to access the basic needs. So this kind of mealie meal should be handled as an emergency for me. Thank you, Charles.
All right, thank you, Himba. We do appreciate. Lance, what's your reaction, to the story that we are from viewing?
Well, thank you so much, Chaza. For me, I have quite a number of concerns pertaining to this issue, of which the first one is, as I always condemn the stance that Zambia has taken of a free marketing price. It doesn't make sense to have a country which is you are allowing businesses to dictate the price of commodities on the market. There is nothing like this should be the price range or this should be the utmost price for a commodity. For me, free for price is not a way to go. Hence the reason why we have unscrupulous people taking advantage of the situation and therefore hiking the prices of different commodities, because it's not only mealie meal which is now getting high, even other commodities are getting high, because our market is a free pricing market. Whoever wakes up today and think of putting whatever price tag they want to put on a certain commodity, they will do so at free will. You won't have CCPC to go and ask them as to why a commodity is fetching at that particular price. Government cannot wake up and say, why is it fetching at this price? Okay, why? Because it's a free pricing market that we have out there. So there is need to introduce a price index for these commodities. That is the only way we will have sanity in terms of prices for different commodities. When we come to, the solution to this issue of mealie meal either getting high or coming back to a standard level of pricing where a common Zambian can be able to access it, government has to consider banning, the exportation of mealie meal. Chaza, it's incumbent upon a seller, a retailer, or a wholesaler who is dealing in mealie meal. They would rather go and sell this 25 kg of mealie meal Kukongo, which is fetching at 650 kwacha, and like a Munagulise 140. Okay, so this issue that people, the government hasn't, banned the exportation of mealie meal or maize. That is a free market for all. So people prefer to go and sell it out of the country where it's fetching at a higher price, therefore leaving a shortage in Zambia. Okay, and that shortage, people have to take advantage of the shortage because it's not in every province, it's not in every place. What do? Let's hike the prices. Another factor that is making the hiking of these prices again, Chaza, we need to consider, this issue of load shedding. Load shedding has hit Zambia badly, okay? Because these millers, what are they doing? For them, they decide because it's a business. So when power goes, what do? They need to continue with production. How do they continue? They go for another source of energy, which is generators. When you look at the cost of diesel, just to a liter of diesel in a genset, it's very high. It's fetching at a high price. So production of this mill, if we are using generators, becomes high. So the government also has to consider through the Energy Regulation Board or through ZESCO, they have to consider an issue of looking into this issue of power. Power outages are also affecting us. If we have to catch this commodity at a price that it has to be caught on, government has to consider all these, loopholes that are there, or all these factors that are affecting the price for this commodity. I submit.
In the last, story, I actually heard or followed that, there's also some kind of, cosmetic, fuel shortage. I don't know if, you got that part. If you did, a quick reaction, Himba, Lance.
Personally, you know what, Chaza? The government should actually be very firm, and the government should come in with key interest to find out all these things, what is causing all these things on the ground. If people would even just want to pretend or to put up a scenario that there's fuel shortage, or they want to create such a scenario, I'm sure the government should come in very quickly and arrest the situation, because now the person who are going to suffer, it's an ordinary Zambian, because now if you're talking about fuel, from fuel we've got road shedding, from road shedding we've got the high price of meal. It's simply an ordinary Zambian who's going to suffer, and the Zambian people depend on the Zambian government to come in and arrest the situation. So if such a situation, or if such plans are there on the ground, which we are taking it, I heard it at the end of the report, but if such a situation is being planned, I mean, it's very sad, and it's so sad that actually it's us, the Zambian people, who are planning such against our own country. In short, we are saying we are actually enemies to ourselves. We are enemies to our own development. So if we've got such mindset among the Zambian people, how do we expect our country to develop? How do we expect our country to be sustainable, economically sustainable, if we are doing such things? I think it's a very sad situation. I submit.
All right, thank you, Himba. Lance, do you have any reaction to that part?
No, Chaza, I pass. I didn't hear that part.
Okay, thank you so much. We do appreciate, and on set, we do welcome, Mukelevai right here, and I'll invite him to actually make his reaction to the next story. In the meantime, just welcome him and greet him right here. Mr. Mukelevai, good evening and welcome to the program.
Good evening, Chaza. How are you? And good evening, Himba. Good evening, Lance.
Good evening, Mukelevai, and it's nice to have you on the program.
Tolumba.
Good evening.
Good evening.
It's nice, having you. I've been wondering, you've been away for a long time. I think you have a bone to chew with me. We'll settle that, away from the program. For now, let's quickly get to the next story, and we'll see you on the other side.
The increase in the price.
Floods in most parts of Zambia are common, especially during rain season. Different families have fallen victim and become homeless of this calamity, either caused naturally or individually. It is for this reason that Leadership Movement President Dr. Richard Sirumbe has called on government to quickly come on board and arrest the flood situation among many challenges the Zambian people are facing. The opposition leader said the New Dawn government should quickly focus on the victims in order for them to gain their economic grounds, adding that Zambia is a sovereign state and very productive.
Recognize that we need to be a country, a sovereign state that is independent, that is productive, and we want to urge the New Dawn government to arrest the problems that we are facing in this country. We have seen so many problems coming up. Recently, we are seeing the floods, and we are seeing flood victims all over. We want the New Dawn government to focus on helping those people so that they can gain their economic ground and continue existing as Zambians. We want an agent dedication to helping the flood victims and ensuring that we deal with the issue of flooding, helping those communities to relocate and ensure that they have grounds where they can do their economic activities without further threat from the floods.
Climate change affects everyone and is one of the major causes of floods currently globally. Different government organs have been seen trying to put measures in order to mitigate climate change. However, there is more which needs to be done, and it takes all of us. Edith Mwinga reporting for Ubuntu Channel in Lusaka.
All right, the issue of flooding is not new to all of us, and this time around it has, hit us again, and people are crying foul. What do we say? What is our reaction to this? I'll invite you, Mr. Mkelewai, to react first to this story.
Okay, thank you so much, Chaza. It's a quite sad situation. I don't know why we behave as though we are blind people. Sorry to the blind. I'm not mocking. But even the blind, they do have people that guide them, or they have sticks to guide them, that they cannot fall into a same ditch twice. We, the Zambian people, keep on falling into the same trap. Come every rain season, we go through the same. And we only come up with temporal solutions. And we find that our own citizens, they go ahead and start building or throwing things. We are doing this to ourselves. And we are not taking any precautions to our any care of what may happen, especially when we know that the area we are building, constructing our houses, is it's a flooded area, or it floods occur nearly every year. We don't have any. We have engineers, we have the local authorities, but I don't understand why we fail to engage and do something, even as community, like the way, especially the neighborhood, people in the same area that is affected all the time. Why can't they come together, put their heads together, and find a permanent solution to this? Because it's their homes that are going to be affected. I wonder how the insurance companies are I think they're even running away. And most of those houses, I believe, they are not even insured whatsoever against the floods, because you know that there's a danger here. And that's where you go and build. And when it happens, then you want to cry for government to come and help out. When you have the potential to avoid or to prevent this from happening, why do we keep on falling in the same ditch? Boma Yanganepo, this attitude of Boma Yanganepo, when we can sort our own problems, I think we Zambians should bring this attitude to an end. Instead of just politicking and blaming, pointing a finger at the government, let us show this government that if this government is failing to work, we ourselves can do something. I think I submit.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mukelewa. We do appreciate. Himba, let me invite you to be the next one to make reaction, to this story.
Thank you so much, Chaza. And, issue of floods in our country, siya chilendo. If anything, it's part of us. Maybe somebody was saying that maybe tikazinga na ceremony yakti vantu vakazibwera kutamba so ma tourists vambotamba yankala just time because it's something like this, but this season will have floods. So ingankala che ceremony which will be
at least it's a malozi tirikoda kuomboka.
So serious,
it must be a branch of Kuomboka,
Exactly. I think from other parts of the country should be mean. Then the major one, they call it real Kuomboka. Because literally, we are joking about it. We are talking about it's really a sad situation. This is a situation which I think we can avoid it on individual level, community level, and at government level. Because we know that in the rain season, we are going to have this situation. And we even know that in time it's going to cost a lot of, health hazard. I saw, despite this, Chaz, I don't know if you saw, I on a video, yenze na Land Cruiser, I don't get a mupa Japariva, the Land Cruiser just went in one to Tumbui, that kind of thing. Did you see that one?
Yeah. Is it not a Hilux, that one?
Ikayangani highlights on a Land Cruiser. I don't know. You saw it, right?
Yes.
I couldn't watch it again. I couldn't even watch it because literally, Zijaninjila, and it looks like that is a key in major road, your Pitapo.
Yeah.
So now, if we are having these situations, why can't we prepare ourselves as a community through our leaders? Kuti hii njira tienti chitechani, tienti sevenzelepo, ndiye njira yetiri nayo hii. And again, if we come to my houses like Manyumba, as Mukelewa has said, I don't know ngapoendo, talipo manga nyumba, kumankala mwaletako masurveyors, planners, mabwela. What do they come to do and what do they advise people? Because kwinangu kwe mama endo manga, the water tables are quite high, such that kukabwa utuvua tokako pangono, yankala ni floods, and it ends up causing a lot of health hazards to the residents in that area. I think we've lost my lives there, but this time, if we highlight, I don't think they've saved all those people from there. Then there's another one again yashtika the kakangani kantaka and chani, that kind of thing. So this is something which we need to plan. It shouldn't be like it's like now manje timalindira chat first ibwere flood titamangireko, but we can avoid it. We can save lives. Nanga bana, what can the children do? There's another track yetaona mwewenze stories abantu bapita pantangu then track iko nkamo, so even though that is very risky, can the government, our political leaders, all the leaders from all sectors come and do something about it? And as I conclude, Chaza, vantu wenzo kambati vanamanga misevo, vanamanga mabridge, ni misevo zabwanji ze vanamanga izi zili so.
All right, it seems I've lost Himba there. Let me invite you, Lance. What's your reaction to this story?
Thank you so much, Chaza. Time and again, I always talk about why do we have certain professionality if they are just sitting ducks? As Himba has said, we have planners, we have engineers, we have surveyors. What do these people do? Before a certain settlement is created into a settlement, I must believe that we have city planners sitting in all local councils, and these are the people that go on the ground to survey the area, look at the area, assess the area, what is it prone to, what is the area prone to, and what are the hazards that might be found in this area. Okay, so our city planners have failed us. Our surveyors have failed us. Much worse, our engineers, even worse, they have failed us. None of
we have
them.
any,
Sorry?
if at all we have any engineers.
Exactly. So all these people have failed us, hence the reason why year in, year out, we have same areas which are flood prone getting flooded. Okay. Also, I think jokingly somewhere I wrote on, I think that was on Twitter, to say, why is it that each and every year around this time, we always have DMMU through together with the Met Department giving us, that weather forecast of saying, perennial floods or flash floods here and there. I was looking at the one which Met produced last year around this same time when they produced this one. Then I was like, these guys, the DMMU engineers and everyone, they had a window period of 365 days to look at how can we best engage the local people in this area, which is always prone to flood, so that we can work on this issue, it comes to an end. I think Tenche, as Himba said, Tenche Tizivi celebrate Tenche, flooding ceremony, and then we invite tourists to come and watch it, because it's now becoming something which is an everyday experience, So, Chaza, for me, I have issues with these sitting ducks in the name of city planners and engineers or surveyors that just sit in their office and drink coffee. At the end of the day, they get their salary. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Lance. And just before we get to the next story, I'll just, want you to put your comment or react concerning, the removal of the presidential, spokesperson from State House to Tanzania as, deputy, high commissioner. This is a story that has been going around on social media and on every social platform. It appears there are different reactions concerning this removal or moval. Others are calling it a demotion, others a promotion. I'd like to have your reactions to this story. Let me start with who, Mr. Mkelewai.
Oh, thank you so much, Chaza. Again, I will get back and say sometimes as Zambians, we just need to learn to stay out of other people's business and let the people do their things that they are chosen or elected to do. Who are we to start questioning the appointments and the disappointments of the president? The people that
is our business.
That the people. I mean, he has. We the Zambian people gave the. Yes.
Have you heard? We have a counter reaction there coming from Himba. She's saying it is our business.
Well, in a broad way, in another breath, we can come to that later. But when it comes to appointment and the disappointments, we the Zambian people, through our constitution that we uphold, that when we gave the power or the person that is in charge of taking care of our constitution, we gave him the power to appoint, and disappoint. And he has the prerogative. He has the right. It is his own game. He needs to appoint whoever he feels this person can do the job. Now, for us to start now dictating him who to appoint and who to disappoint, where and why, then we are interfering. And if we have an issue, legitimately and legally speaking, we can take it through the judiciary. for checks and balances. Instead of making a lot of noise, even invoking tribalism, you start playing the tribal card over something that is basically done for, from the bottom of his heart, or, with the power that we gave him. He has chosen to do that, and he has his own reasons, well and good. And the other issue is, has the gentleman himself that has been appointed lodged in, has he counterclaimed, has he challenged the appointment or disappointment or the demotion? Has he challenged it, and has he accepted or he has disputed this? Why are we speaking on his behalf? Why can't we pick our phone and find out from him if he's happy? Why has he taken over? Why has he taken up that position? So sometimes tulabutukila ukuikata ensoka kumuchila and ikatusuma. So tuilabutukila okulachita invoke ifintu ifishile leta fishile twara na kumano. Let that person, if he is disappointed and he has an issue with the president, let him take it up within the right channel. Let us, the citizen, speak when we have facts, not just speculation, and start bringing innuendos about this tribalism. No, this is the time for UPND to rule, and the PF and the opposition have no say in who to appoint. That's what I can say for now.
All right, thank you, Himba. Considering that you wanted to counter there, let me invite you to be next, to react.
Thank you so much, Chaza. It's not our business; it is our business. If we have a say. We have a say in this whole matter. Chaza, my reaction is Anton Wadia's situation. Probably, I think it's sad the way, especially the political leaders, have decided to use this to their political mileage. I would have been very happy the time Anton was appointed. The same political players would have come out and said, Bakateka Bashta appointee Anthony Wadia because he's coming from this region of the country. Now, when he was appointed, no one reacted. Now they are reacting. I don't think their reaction is justifiable. One. Two. Secondly, has he been demoted or not? I think for me, whether demotion, whether not, the civil servants, especially these who are politically appointed, that's why they're appointed. When need comes, they should be taken to another appointment, and they sign a contract that as long as I'm serving under the Zambian government, they do that. They sign. They make that commitment. So for us to come and say, I think for me that doesn't make sense, and it's not in our position for us to do that. Then thirdly, so are we saying ababantu who are politically appointed, olo abifya akalakwa nikumulekache? If now, because it's Himba, when Himba has offended or has gone wrong, Himba should not be disciplined. Is that what we are saying? Because the people from where Himba comes from, they are going to say, so Olo Himba le pangame mistakes nayo. Olo Himba is underperforming nayo. Olo Himba is disgracing nayo. Is that what people are trying to say? So for me, whatever these political players are trying to push their agenda, it's sad. And I'm glad that now we are able to tell who is who, because this tribal agenda they are pushing, it has actually exposed a lot of them. We've heard some audios which are done in the privacy. We've heard some audios which are coming openly. But I'm telling you, if you love Zambia out there, stay away from this tribal agenda which is being pushed. And for us young people, aba bakulu bali mu politics bebambalde bangboleta vima tribal conflicts. Tomorrow they will not be there. It will be us to dance to this tune. They are planting the seed which will not be there. And I'm telling you, you are playing with fire, you're playing with fire. One day that fire will turn against you. So as we are championing this tribal agenda, let's know that it has an impact, which it will be us who are going to benefit from that. And if you love Mother Zambia out there, as a young generation, stay away from this, because these people who are championing Ama tribal remarks, they will not even be there to suffer.
Bakabutukira ku Ethiopia.
Exactly. And apart from that, Bamo, they've got their pockets are heavy. Who can't even get a bus to cross the borders? They'll cross the borders and leave that conflict for us to fight. Young generation, young people, please stay away from this kind of politics of hatred, politics of tribalism, politics of character assassination, politics of name calling. Let's concentrate on bringing development to Mother Zambia. President Hakainde Hichilema, he's in order to appoint anybody he wants, to swap anybody he wants, to move anybody he wants from which position to another. Lastly, I think for me, it's even somehow, as we are talking about today, Anton, believe me, Anthony's CV is CV Anton. That's another side. What is the benefit? His CV he's making his CV. Tribal CV. And the next time Anthony is going to be put in a high portfolio, but Mumutamba Muntu is building a CV. From presidential, now he's going into the diplomacy. The other time he's going Imamukamba politics here. The CV is growing, is becoming bigger, is becoming attractive. So for me, whatever is happening, those who've got personal agenda, political agenda over this, please stay away and stay with your greediness. We know what you are pushing, and stay away. Leave our Zambia for all Zambians. You're not more Zambian than any other person. We are all Zambians. I submit.
All right, thank you, Himba. Lance, what's your reaction to this issue?
I've heard more than enough, and I think I've debated this issue more than enough, Chaza. Even, Comrade Anthony's appointment, some of us, our comment was that Comrade Anthony was too cool for the job. Anthony was too cool for the job. Presidential assistant requires a lot than what Anthony possessed. So for some of us, it's a right call in a right direction. The fact that our core has been heeded to say that office was too big for him. Whether it's a demotion, well, that's up to him to decide if he will take it as he's been demoted or not. It depends how he will take matters on his own. The only interest that I have in this story is actually what has come out, what we've seen mostly on social media, on WhatsApp blogs, to say the reason behind his firing is because at some point he traded dubiously, and there's some offshore account with some money that somebody gave him so that they can come and start a business and they will be favored here and there. I think that's the only interest that I have. I would really love to know how true that is, and if it's a lie, how much of a lie it is. Otherwise, him being moved from that office joyed me. That office was too big for Anthony. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Interesting story there about Anthony Walia. Reactions from all sects of society, social media, and all.
Before you move on, my brother,
yes,
I want to hear your views yourself.
I remember a time that an interviewer was asked a question by an interviewee, and he declined to answer. But I'll definitely get to answer. just like Lance, in terms of it being a promotion or a demotion, we wouldn't really get to know because we don't know, the hierarchy. Personally, I don't know the hierarchy in terms of, these jobs and also the emolument that accompanies the same job. So in terms of, just from perception, it looks as though it's a demotion because, from an attachment direct to the president and sent to another country and on a deputizing, position. And probably just like Lance indicated, it may be that the expectation that he was given probably, was not executed, according to the expectation. And henceforth, he could have been demoted, which is not a good thing. And when you are given a job, there's this expectation, you need to perform according to the expectation. And if you have failed to perform, if you are demoted, people may cry foul, including yourself. But if you have not performed, I think, you may deserve, such a demotion. And the president, according to the constitution, he is mandated to actually appoint, revoke the appointment or reshuffle people here and there, because it is, a constitutional right that he has. So criticisms may be there, reactions from the people may be there, but he has, those powers that, he's mandated by the constitution. Mr. Mkelewai.
Oh, thank you. That was amazing. Now I hand over the chairmanship to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Interesting indeed. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you are free to join us. We are still here, analyzing, adding our voices to the stories of the week right here on Point of View. You can actually click on the link, then you get to join us right here on Point of View. For now, let's proceed to the next story.
Mentioning Matero constituency, and what comes to mind is counterfeit goods and products as well as crime. To some, venturing into the constituency, which lies west of Lusaka, evokes fear, but this is not how the people of Matero view their area. However, this is in spite of many challenges the constituency is faced with, such as unemployment inadequate, health facilities, poor water reticulation, poor roads and drainage systems, insufficient security, petty crimes, and round youths, among others. And Matero Member of Parliament, Mao Samba, is concerned about the state of some roads in his constituency, and has asked the UPND government not to go ahead and give the constituency a CDF vehicle. Instead, need a proper road infrastructure in the townships, and government should look at this as a priority. According to Mr. Sampa, the Constituency Development Fund CDF is not enough to help with road construction because the constituency is vast.
So instead of pleasing me as MP with a brand new Toyota, I start driving, feel comfortable at the expense of my people in Matero who are suffering through that road, getting charged extra bus fares, extra 10 kwacha, because the road is so bad. I'll suffer with them, and I refuse that vehicle. They should keep it until that road is done. I will not allow that vehicle to patronize me. I want to do the job and speak for the people.
And speaking at a press briefing, Mr. Sampa, who is also Patriotic Front from Presidential Hopeful, has accused some UPND ministers, members of parliament and permanent secretaries of having contracts in the government despite them still serving.
Whoever does that, it should be a jailable offense, it should be a criminal act. Those who want to be businessmen, stay out of politics. Whether it's, you are at that company before you were elected, then continue with that company. We have a situation where even in the current government and the previous government, somebody is a minister and there's companies with huge road contracts, and then they get paid advance money of $30 million. They don't even do these roads. I know ministers in the current government getting huge contracts. I know ministers in the current government who got huge road contracts in the previous PF government. I know former ministers.
Meanwhile, other people who spoke at the same event is former Ruvansenshi MP Lazarus Chita and Richard Chanda as PF members.
Begging everybody that let's look at all these people who are coming to stand in PF. Let's elect a person who look after the country, who look after the people, who look after everybody. I know you talked about the mines, Mr. President, to discuss this. I know what is going on now, but please.
The constituencies that we lost to UPNG, which is Kanyama and also Kabwata. These all constituencies, Kabwata Munari and Lusaka Central. All these constituencies, when it stood, and that's the time PF was actually now going down, he won in all the constituencies. Which means Honorable Mouse and
Reporting for Ubuntu Channel in Lusaka, I'm Edith Mwinga.
There we have it, a story there from, Matero constituency in Lusaka. All right, your reaction, Lance, as regards, this story.
Thank you so much, Chaza. Both me and Maus Sampa MP share the same sentiments about being against this idea of purchasing a CDF vehicle in each and every constituency, which will be going round to check on CDF projects or CDF contracts that have been given to the locals. That is a waste of resources. If the government has increased CDF from what it was to 28.3 million now, then why should we get another chunk and buy a vehicle which will monitor projects that are CDF based? Do all projects in the constituency need a vehicle to monitor? Remember, CDF has got a part where somebody can get a loan. Do I need a vehicle to come and monitor how I'm using that loan? Certainly not. Do I need a CDF vehicle for it to come and check how I'm using that grant which I've been given? Certainly not. So some thinking is not right. Why? Here we're looking at government trying to decentralize, development. Here is the money for your constituency. Develop it how you want to develop it. But as you are developing it, those projects must first get approved, okay, by the minister and in the province. So these projects, as they are, getting done, if it's a road project, it's maybe building a 1x3 building block classroom, or maybe buying medicine in hospitals or health centers. Certainly there is no need for a vehicle to go and start moving to check on, have they bought, this medicine in hospitals. The vehicle is not needed. We are in a hurry to give these CDF funds to cooperatives that have been formed, and they are going to make desks which they are going to be selling in these schools. Okay, remember, this is the money that will be returned because you've gotten it as a grant or you've gotten it as a loan. Okay, so your progress is determinant with what you are going to pay back or how you are going to pay back. Okay, so the vehicle for me, and as Maus Sampa said, it is of no relevance. It's better bring that money. It works, give it to whichever CDF cooperative that has been approved, whose project or projects have been approved, give it to them, let them lift the face of the constituency, and like buying a car, which at the end of the day, this vehicle will be needing fuel. This vehicle will be needing, servicing time and again. Where will that money be coming from? This is drawing. Okay, this is drawing or draining from the treasury or from the same constituency development fund, which is meant to develop the constituency. You start getting money for fuel instead of giving to people so that they can work on projects or deliver on the projects that they have submitted and they have been approved. CDF vehicle is not needed. Let's speedily develop our constituency by making sure that this money is meant only for development and not for buying vehicles. Thank you, Chaza.
Thank you so much, Lance. We do appreciate. Mr. Mkelebai, what's your take, as regards this issue?
Thank you so much, Chaza. Well, of all the MPs in Zambia, especially from the opposition, I don't know. I'm beginning to actually enjoy liking this gentleman, Mao Sampa, even though he belongs to this political party that destroyed the country, that put us in this mess. And that's why things, even today, that the economy is still struggling and we are having expensive commodity, it's as a result of the previous regime that squandered money like crazy. And I'm glad that it is coming from Mao Sampa, the MP for Matero, to even reject a vehicle for as internal and wish to be given money to develop or to build up or to reconstruct the roads network in his constituency. To me, that shows me that the PF there, this PF gentleman, I think has realized to say his bosses, his previous government, overspent and abused their government funds, where we have we have a presidential jet that is not even in use, that was just bought just for the sake of buying. I don't know what we see in Muma Myotok, even though Shire Twipaya and we are spending so much money to Aritemasana status ngawakwata motoka ati eebumi. That is not true. Vehicles is just something that we can use for convenience sake, but it's not something that we need to bring development when our people are busy working. And moreover, where are they going to drive the same vehicle when you have those roads that are like they are drum horse? Anyway, enough about that. I think Lance has talked about this. I was trying to come to the point that he raised about the ministers purchasing or forming. They have companies and they are busy getting contracts from the government when they themselves have contracts where they are supposed to declare interest. That's very well articulated, and that's a very good observation from the MP. We don't need that kind of attitude, and that is the really bleeding ground for corruption and nepotism and all these kind of illicit activities where they are awarding themselves. And I just wish the ACC and all other investigative agencies should look into this vigorously. And I hope OHH is listening, should employ or push his people to look into this. Say any minister or any government official that is found to have a company that has a hand in distributing or producing or has a contract where the government, where he or she is benefiting from the government while saving in that portfolio they have, they should actually be either be investigated or be given an option either to resign as a minister so that they could continue with their private business, or to stop whatever they are doing and continue saving the people of Zambia. Because this is what we saw from the previous regime. And that's why you saw people building houses, people coming into government from rags. They were just tamangas on the Katondo street changing money. Suddenly you have 10 buildings costing 20 something million kwacha. Wafunya kuisempia. Ama companies, they were busy making losses in the country. We had financial crisis worldwide. But they're even buying helicopters. Where were they finding the money? Which company were making such amount of money, thousands profit, when the whole world was facing a financial crisis? So this is where we need to wake up. And I'm glad this Mayo Sampa gentleman, I just wish he could just remove that other pettiness on him, the childishness on his side, and continue with, because he has a good eye, and many people in his party, they hate him for that. He has a good eye. He knows how to criticize the current government in a very respectful way with proper evidence. I think he can be a very good MP for employing these checks and balances. For now, I think that's what I can say. I like his approach. I like his attitude. His tone is very, very matured. Unlike what we hear from these other chaps who are just busy opening their mouth, and what comes out is something that is divisive. And hence their IQ is so questionable. Anyway, that's the only part I can say for now. Mayo Sampa is on the right trajectory. He just belonged to a wrong party. I wish he could change. And if this is the PF that wants to come in 2026 and challenge UPND, if this PF is Mayo Sampa's kind of life style, and they change the way to politics, they change the political assassination behavior, I think they may stand a chance of returning most of the seats. But when I look at other fellow candidates, there are a lot of questions. So by PF, I think Mayo Sampa is for the keep. And if you don't, we'll fish him. We'll tell him to join the ruling party. Maybe the president could even give him a ministerial position, or this presidential spokesperson position. Anyway, that was just a lighter note.
Right.
I like Mayo Sampa, and I despise the other guys. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Mukelebai. We do appreciate. And as we come, to the end of the program, I would like to make, cognizance of, one motivational speaker, that I have never seen, by the name Felix Galamukani Banda. This motivational speaker, was unwell. He was on a wheelchair. But he continued, motivating people in that condition. Not only that, I saw him appearing, on TV, on talk shows, on gatherings, still motivating people, with tubes of oxygen. I've never seen such a person. He could even attend church in, that condition. And eventually he succumbed, to that illness and passed on. So I'd like to, pass on my, sincere condolences to the family, and really make cognizance of such a gallant soldier. Just your few words onto that, Mr. Mukelebai.
Well, may his soul rest in peace. His words, his works will forever be fresh to every Zambian, every person that benefited from his works. It will remain forever on every person's mind, in our memory. And to me, I feel he did his part. And it's amazing. And this is how we wish to be remembered. People must do something positive, leave something behind, something positive, not something where you are called names. We even wish that you should die today. But we want, when people leave this planet, they leave a beautiful legacy behind. His legacy shall forever be on every person that met him, even those that have not met him and will just read about him, will forever think about and respect him. I think the sad thing is good people don't last longer on this planet. Don't know. We should just pray to God that he is safe in heaven with God until we meet again.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Mukelebai, and sincere condolences indeed to the bereaved family. And at this point in time, I'd like to, thank you, the viewers, for taking your time, following the program, to this end. Not forgetting the people that have, made this program, come to fruition. Mr. Mukelebai, yourself, not forgetting Lance Sani Banda, who has just fallen out because of probably connectivity, and also Himba, who also left us a while ago. We do appreciate. Till next time, my name is Chaza right here. This has been Point of View. God bless you all.
It do best.